Welcome to the Create Today podcast. This show is all about how you can create a life that you love one day at a time. I'm your host, Karen Stanley, and my guest today is Ed DeLorenzo, but we call him the OG Delo. He said, no, I'm the original Delo. And I said, well, that's what OG means. So OG Delo, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time because, for a lot of reasons, because I know and love his son. And he was a guest on my podcast a few months ago. And he is a 75-year-old freaking bodybuilder and just won a competition. And what was the competition you just won?
It was the Natural Olympia, and I was in the 70 and older category. I was 74 years old.
It's phenomenal. Well, that's the picture I'm going to use for the podcast.
And I still still competed against 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds.
You did?
Yeah, you're not going to really beat them. I'm not, but I was able to hang in there, and I did beat a few.
Wow.
So it ain't over till it's over.
It ain't over till it's over. Maybe that's going to be the title of our podcast. I love it. I just want to hear about the beginning. Like, where were you born? Your dad's name was Guido. Was he born in this country or was he born in Italy?
No, he was born in Italy, and his two brothers, they served in World War II.
Oh.
Interesting story to that. They served in the Pacific, and one of my uncles was on a ship, went down. My other uncle was in another ship that pulled him out.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the other thing, too, is, World War II and a lot of people out of war, they never talked about it.
Right.
Never talked about it. But, I'm very proud of my dad.
Oh, it's amazing. Did your dad talk about it?
Not really.
Never.
They just didn't talk about it.
Did you ever ask him questions or try to get him to talk?
Yeah, but it would be cut pretty short, so
Yep.
you kind of got the idea of it. But, he was a good guy, worked hard all his life.
And he served in the war for Italy.
No. They were born in Italy, and they came here legally.
What a concept.
They came here legally, and my grandfather had his green card.
Wow.
My grandfather worked for Puro Water Fountains in New York.
Wow.
I grew up in Brooklyn.
So they came through Ellis Island.
Yes, they did.
Wow.
They're on there. They did it legally.
So did they do it legally?
Yes.
Yes. That's what a concept. Anyway, we'll table that for later. So they come through Ellis Island, and what did your dad do for the water company?
Well, my grandfather...
was your grandfather.
Made water fountains for Puro. And my father, after the war, married my mother. I came along, and my father worked selling kitchen equipment. He worked out of New York City, Manhattan, but he sold kitchen equipment for Grossinger's on House on the Green, all these big
Central Park
restaurants and clubs in Manhattan and New York. And where he had an advantage when he got out of the military, he went to school for drafting. So this way, he was able to go into these restaurants and talk to the chef, and he'd be able to draw out on a drafting board what the equipment would look like. So he had this other talent on there. He was never, we weren't rich as far as money-wise, but we were rich as far as the Italian family. And my dad always liked his Cadillacs or Lincolns. He always had a Cadillac or a Lincoln. That's what Guido had.
It's the best.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when he got his first one, or did he always have one?
Didn't always have one.
Yeah,
but
you remember?
Yeah, probably when I was a teenager, because I got to drive a few of them too.
Oh, that's so cool.
I could be a big shot on dates. And gasoline was only like 25. I still remember 25 cents a gallon.
Wow.
So it wasn't too bad.
Wasn't bad. It was only $1 when I was in high school.
And then after that, well, McDonald's was 10 cents a burger. Remember I used to hang out over there.
You'd hang out at McDonald's.
Yeah.
What are some of your fondest memories growing up in Brooklyn? What was it like? I didn't grow up in a big city.
You know something? I lived in the Italian neighborhood, Italian Jewish neighborhood. You could walk down the street, okay? You were safe. You could walk down, a woman or a kid can, because you walk down the street, and in this part, the different part of the street, you'd have the candy store, you'd have the butcher shop, you'd have the kosher deli, grocery store, and everybody knew each other. At night, the fireflies would be out, and Mrs. Zorbo would be sitting on her porch stoop. Hi, Mrs. Zorbo. And the kids, I know I sound like an old guy, I am. The kids were respectful. In other words, your neighbor wasn't Joe. I was a kid. It was Mr. King.
That's right.
Or Mr. McNone, or Mrs. McNone. Now, hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
It's wild.
Really?
It's wild.
But
yeah,
you go with it.
So I have only seen that in movies that portray like the 50s in Brooklyn. It seems so magical.
Well, the thing is, the safety there, was the mafia there and heavy at the time? Yeah. But you were protected.
Right.
They shot each other, you know what I'm saying? But your neighborhoods were safe.
Right, right.
Your pizza joints were safe. Everything was there.
Everybody took care of each other.
Yes, they did.
And all of the people watched everybody else's, right?
Yep.
So it was like more of a community. It was like more of a family in one block.
It was a family, and there was respect, and
Seems
it was
amazing
a lot of
to
fun.
me.
It was. And you know what? As kids, we used to get broomsticks, play stickball.
With what ball?
We used to skate in the streets. In fact, I remember one time Willie Mays, my idol. He played for the New York Giants, and then when they moved to San Francisco there too. I remember seeing him playing stickball in the street in New York.
No way.
Yeah, with the kids.
Oh,
it was amazing. It was amazing.
That is amazing. How long did you stay in Brooklyn?
We moved out of there when I was about 9 years old, and we moved to New Jersey.
Jersey.
They used to call it the sticks. Now Jersey is just packed.
It's jam-packed.
Yeah.
And why did you do that?
My father, I guess he wanted to move out of the city
Suburbs.
into more, and then of course my two uncles followed. Eventually, they got my grandfather and grandmother there.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we kind of missed their house though, because in the backyard they had these giant peach trees. The peaches were as big as grapefruits.
Really?
Pear trees, and then fig trees and stuff. And my grandmother would grow her parsley and everything. It was really
No way.
Yeah.
She grew her own herbs.
And they had a basement, and in the basement was a wine cellar. And my grandfather used to make wine. And I used to help, we used to have to mix and stomp on the stuff and everything else. So downstairs in the cellar, he'd have his wine room, and he'd make 3 wooden barrels of Burgundy. And when I say wooden barrels, the big wooden barrels.
Legit, like you will see in a vineyard
Right.
now.
And as kids, we would have ginger ale with wine in it. And when, it was good.
No
Put the
big
kids
deal.
to sleep. Yeah,
Right.
put the kids to sleep a lot quicker. But, then after the Italian meal, which took about 3 hours,
Right.
the cards would come out. They start playing poker.
So fun.
Yeah, and then food break, and then they'd play poker, and about 2 a.m, it was over. And somebody went, I won $20. And at that time, it
That's a lot of
was
money.
pretty good, yeah.
It's like $2
Back
grand.
then. But Jersey,
I think it's so cool that your dad and his 2 brothers lived in the same area, stayed in the same area, and then moved again to the same area. That's so cool and so rare these days.
And they were
right?
all, yeah, and
And
they were
they're
all together.
so close.
And all the houses had basements. Now back east, that's what they had, basements.
Basements are the best.
They were cool. But New Jersey, I was in Catholic school there. I got kicked out.
What'd you do?
I'm not going to tell you. I wore mirrors. I had mirrors on my shoes.
What?
Remember the penny loafers?
Yes.
I had mirrors. But I wanted to get kicked out anyway because all
Right?
my friends went to public school. So anyway, they caught me with the mirrors on the shoes. Hi, sister.
Did
And-
they hit you with rollers?
Oh God, yeah, they used
They're
to chase me.
ruthless.
So but I didn't want to tell my dad anything because if you told him, he'd whack you on the head. Oh, that's your fault, bam.
Maybe we need to bring back corporal punishment.
Well, from there I went to regular public school, and then one day it was kind of weird. Saw the kids playing football, and it was a brand new high school and I was going to, and I was a sophomore. I didn't even play freshman football.
Huh.
I said, let me try it. So
Why
I went
not?
in there, and I ended up starting as a sophomore.
Without ever playing
and then
before.
as a junior, we won the state championship in New Jersey. I weighed about 215 pounds, and at that time I was a little taller, about 5'9".
Wow.
So, and then from that point, I got a full ride to Colorado State University. I was a running back.
Wow.
A fullback, which is basically a hybrid of a guard, a pulling guard, and a running back.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to be the guy when they needed a small yardage. I used to just bust heads. If they needed an opening in a hole for my buddy Ali to get around, boom.
Wow.
It was fun. So from there I went to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I won and I competed in a bodybuilding show.
That was your first one?
All by myself, first one. And
why did you want to do that?
I don't know. I just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
So I got in there and I won. So then they had Mr. Colorado, 1971. That was me.
No way.
I went out there. There was 19 guys and I whooped them. Then they had a second Mr. Colorado from another association, entered that, wiped him out.
No way.
And then I moved to Arizona to get a job in a health club, which I did, but I didn't like it because it was too much pressure. And I'm not a pressure type guy. That's where I think my son gets a little bit from me. No pressure. Just here, I want to help you. Here's what, over there, they just wanted money. And no. And you can make money, but you can help people doing it too. You know what I'm saying? Not just, hey, how many can I get here?
Fit.
Whatever. So I didn't care for that. Got into the insurance business.
Why did you choose Arizona? Why Arizona?
Because good question. When I was 5 years old, I remember being in my aunt's house in Brooklyn, and she had a globe. And I always used to stare at the globe and look at it, and then I would see Arizona and Australia. Well, when I was in Colorado, I wrote resumes to Australia and Arizona. Arizona hired me.
That's awesome.
So, but after a month, no. So I got into the insurance business, and again, I'm a competitor. I wiped them out. I was 22 years old, and all the, the big heavy hitters and everything else, they'd make fun of me, this and that. Well, you know what I did? And I was on commission. My first check, this is 1972, it was over $5,000.
What?
Nobody gave me, I knocked doors. I did everything it took because I don't like to lose.
Selling insurance?
I knocked doors. They didn't have computers or anything else.
Right.
I knocked doors, made relationships with people, didn't screw anybody over, walked away from if somebody was in a good space or position, I'd stay where you're at. And you know what? Eventually, they come over to you anyway.
100%.
So, and then I got back. I started becoming a pair. Now, what a pair is the head looks little and the rest of the body comes down like that. Because all of a sudden there was a couple of kids, and I was only in my 30s. There was a couple of kids, and it's great to make excuses too.
So easy.
So anyway, blood pressure went up. Everything was not good.
Oh.
Well, went through a divorce. When you go through those, all of a sudden the guy wants to look like he's 20 again, and the girl wants to, and the ex-wife or whatever wants to look, oh God, crazy. Craziness. So I got back into it, but it's addictive. So once I got back into it, I stayed with it. Mm-hmm. And then somebody mentioned, and in the meantime, I had 2 shoulder replacements, a hip replacement, and a knee, all titanium. And the shoulders were replaced 20 years ago. You'll never lift again. Bet me, gambler. But, I still kept going. I still kept going and didn't make excuses. It hurt me a little bit as far as I couldn't do certain poses as well as I would have liked to because I didn't have the motion. Mm-hmm. But I'd come out with other attributes where it was enough to take
undeniable.
Take them out.
Wow.
But the key was it became a passion. I don't like to lose. Okay, I like a fair game. But I don't like to lose. Even when I played football, even when, I just, no matter what it is.
What do you think made it, why do you think, what makes you so competitive? Did you get that from your family? Is that your culture? Like, your dad? Like, what is it? Some people are just not that competitive, and you're just like, I want to win. Why?
Psychologically, and my ex-wife is, she's a doctor. But I think when I was growing up, my father, he worked a lot, really wasn't into sports, but he would come support me in the games and everything else, where there was all the politics out there and with these parents and the politics like you have today, they had back then.
Still exists,
and
yeah.
You know what? I knew I had to do 3 times better than them to get that position. And that's what I would do. And I ran track too. I was a sprinter. And in those days, they didn't have the 100 meters. They had the 100-yard dash.
I remember that.
Well, at 215 pounds, I did a 10 flat.
What?
And 4 other guys were ahead of me. Hey, Jersey's pretty tough. It was Mike Turco. I still remember the name. He did a 9.3. Wow. And then there were 2 other guys from Carteret that did in the 9s. And then the running back with me on my team, Al Lee, he did a 9.8, and I did a 10 flat.
Wow.
I came in last, but I did a 10 flat.
That's insane.
But I was 215. The guy who won weighed about 120 pounds, soaking wet.
I bet.
So I just always knew that I didn't want to leave any chance of losing anything that I can do in a good way. I'm not talking.
Yeah.
I'm very competitive. Yes.
That's good. I know.
That's why I love getting on stage, because when I get on stage, I own it. I own it. And when I go against these other people, and let me tell you something, it's a very competitive sport, but you make so many friends, so many damn friends. It's just unbelievable.
That's so fun.
And we're not talking about noodleheads. Some of these guys are CEOs, owner of company, because it's a fairly expensive sport. And especially for the women, too, because they got to buy all these outfits and everything else.
Yeah.
But
it's expensive. The supplements, the protein, the meals, the trainers, the outfits, the tanning.
You have to have, it's got to be with inside you.
And it's all you. It's not a team sport. No, I mean, you have a team helping you, but it's all you. You're the one who has to do it all.
Okay, yeah. And again, you got to be careful, too, because it can be addictive. Believe it or not. I mean, there's been some celebrities that really got into it and then got out of it. But you see, the other thing too I wanted to mention is that natural. Okay, when I won the shows, it was natural. And that's why after I won Mr. Colorado twice, even after moving here, I didn't compete again till I was in my late 50s.
Really?
So there was a big span there between competing and so anyway, I'm losing it.
Awesome. No, I love it. I love all of the stories and all the memories. So all of this time, you started your own business. So I want to kind of hear about your entrepreneur journey too.
Yeah, I left the company that I was with, Allstate Insurance Company, which good company. No problems there. It's just that, if you were doing good, then they figured there was something wrong. No, what? I work Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, but called jealousy. Actually, there are people out there that if you go down, they go up. You don't want to be around people like that. Like my daddy told me, there's a ladder, okay? And if you pick, you're going to get up to the 5th piece of the ladder there. You ain't going to go any further than that. But if you go after number 1, you might get it. And you keep going after it. And,
Awesome. How long did your dad live?
He died the day before he was 52.
Come on, really?
Yeah, he had, this I did know, he had asthmatic fever when he was a child. Still went into the service, so there was some damage there, but the day before he was 52 years. And that might have helped with the competitiveness too, because I knew I had to fend for myself or have a heart-to-heart talk with one of my sister's boyfriends if I didn't like him.
Mm-hmm. That was your job now. Are you the oldest?
Yeah.
You're the oldest
Actually,
boy.
came home one day and her boyfriend was upside down in a garbage pail.
What'd he do?
Well, it was snowing out. And I was at the pool hall, Louis Pool Hall, okay? One of the guys comes in and says, hey, Ed, what's Ray doing over your sister's house? And my parents went out to a New Year's Eve thing, whatever. I said, oh, really? I got in my car, rang the bell, and went to the back of the house. Ray, he ended up marrying her, my sister, comes storming out the back of the house, snow up to here, and he runs right into me and falls on his ass. I didn't touch her. I didn't kiss her. I didn't do anything. I said, get the blank out of here. I know. My sister. She said, all right.
It's your job.
It's my job. Yeah, you're right.
So you have a younger sister, and then do you have any other siblings?
Two younger sisters, right. One's a year younger, and the other one is probably about 9 years younger.
Yeah. So it's just the three of you. So
yeah, and they've done well. God bless them. So everything good on that end.
That's awesome.
But now
that's tough. You lost your dad really young.
And I don't know if that affect. Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah.
It affects you. It affects you.
You must have been,
he was a good guy.
30? I mean, how old were you?
I was, I think at that time when I found it, 27 or 28, somewhere. In fact, I had a house up in Payson that I bought, believe it or not, in like 74. I paid $25,000 for it. Oh. Brick fireplace. The guy who built it his name was Scopa. He was Italian from Italy. So a lot of the bricks and the fireplace stone, just all stone by hand and everything else.
Beautiful.
It burnt down.
Damn.
When they had that fire, who was that writer that had Zane Grey? They call it the Zane Grey fire. When Zane Grey's cabin burnt down, I wasn't too far from his cabin.
Oh.
Electricity hit, caused a fire, and boom, it burnt that down, and I haven't been up there since.
Like in the 90s? When was that?
In the 80s.
80s,
before
I got here.
It was about 84, 85 is when that happened on there.
Damn.
So.
Did you always think that you wanted to have your own business? Did you have other entrepreneurs in your family?
Not really. Not really. I
just kind of happened?
It just kind of happened where I just decided I can do this, and I don't want people doing what they did to me when I was in other words, the better I did, the more of a bad person I was to be frank with you, there was a lot of guys there that worked 8 hours a day, God bless them and everything else. I worked harder, and I was making substantial amounts of money where I owned, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I'm glad I did. I owned 2 Rolls Royces at that time.
Wow.
And I drive up to an all-state meeting in a Corniche coupe,
Badass. You didn't keep them.
No, I didn't keep them. But one was a Corniche coupe and the other one was a Silver Shadow. And what I would do with them is, for example, one of my friends, Wayne, do you remember Wayne? Okay. Was getting married. So Wayne Hemphill. Wayne had me wear a white suit with a white top hat, white gloves, okay? And I was the only white guy in the wedding. He had me as their chauffeur.
Was your Rolls white? White? Was the car white?
No.
Oh.
No, it was blue. It was like a 2-stage blue. In fact, I still have the pictures of me as the driver in the wedding on there.
Oh, so you got to find those and send them.
It was cool. And
awesome.
In fact, Wayne's got divorced, and his wife married Curly Culp, who played for Phoenix Suns. And again, that's back in the 70s, the early 70s. So that's going back a long time.
Yeah.
But I had fun with those. Another one of my friends, clients, his daughter was getting married, same thing. So in other words, I was able to have a little flair, and it did bring me business. I'm not going to kid you, but also doing that And I didn't charge him anything. I did it all for nothing. You know?
It'd be fun.
Yeah. But even the kids that got married remember that too.
I bet.
But it was fun. I know. I used to do some crazy things. Maybe that's where he learned it from.
I'm starting to think
But not
so,
bad
yes.
crazy things.
No.
Fun, great, you know.
Yeah.
And why do people have to get jealous of other people if they're successful? You don't. You know, what you should do, what I would do is figure, that guy is successful. I wonder what the hell he's doing that I'm not, or what I can be doing, or, you know. And I'd watch, you know, and I'd ask questions. What was happening to me is put down. Oh, he must be cheating, or he must be, you know. Maybe that's one of the reasons I went on my own.
That's perfect. And you can do it, and you control it all, and then you can help people.
Yeah, and that's what I enjoy doing, people having success. So when David came along, not when he was born, but when he was older, came along, he had a passion not only for music, but also for, what else did you have? It was music, and it was something, Star Wars, and with music he would do oh crap, he helped put on shows and do things of that nature.
Concerts.
In fact, I think, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, at one time he flew to California and had lunch with Fogerty. And speaking of that, I remember being in Manhattan, blood, sweat, and tears, and Bob Dylan. It was $5 to get in.
What?
Yeah, we sat on tables, and this thing's coming back.
Wow.
Now that's in the '60s.
That's so cool.
That was in the '60s. I'm sorry, I go around and
Don't be sorry.
around in circles.
I love it. If you have any memory, please tell us, because I love the stories.
My first competition back, I was 60 years old, and I worked so hard. And this one didn't have age brackets to 60 or 70.
Okay.
I got out there in the toughest field, which was the middleweight at that point.
Yeah.
And I held my own.
Yeah.
I was mad and disappointed, you know, but I learned a lot.
What'd you learn?
When you get done with a competition, make sure you've ordered pictures and you got pictures. And even if you can have somebody film it, you sit down, you can look at it, you can pin out your mistakes. You can't on stage, and I fell into the trap and I stopped it real quick once I looked at pictures, is that it ain't the judge's fault. The judges aren't looking to screw you over. You got to improve there. No excuses.
Right.
I'd get back in the gym and say, okay, these abs got to be deeper. And then another thing would be telling me in my head, well, you're 60. You can't have a six-pack. And then I tell the thing back, blank you. And guess what I got?
A full six-pack.
Yeah, and from that time on, I won probably, or placed in probably about 40 or 50 contests. And I've got the trophies and everything else. But what I'm most proud of is that I was competing against guys 10, 20, 30, even 40 years younger than me. And again, like I said, I'm not going to beat them. But boy, if you can stand up there and not looking like a, you know, and a few I did beat.
Yeah, you sure did.
But,
it's incredible.
And, well, for example, like today, my son goes, I'll pick you up at 9:30. I got up this morning at 4 o'clock, went to the gym, did what I had to do, you know, did the cardio and everything else, and boom. And I like the gym, the people in there. You get to meet people. It's kind of like a family. Mm-hmm. It's really kind of cool. And if you're not there, they're worried about you. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the ladies, you know, if they're not there. And, you know, it's really kind of cool.
It is. You
just make a lot of, and again, when you get done working out, your endorphins hit you, and it's like, oh, I remember, you know, if you're having a hard day and you're I can't deal with this, you know, and you're starting to lose it a little bit, I'd go work out, come back, and I'd defeat the world. I'd have the big sword in my hand, and I'd be slaying the dragon. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but it does something to you.
Sure does.
To where you can start doing what you got to do.
100%. Pumping all the dopamine and the endorphins, and you're good.
And now like I say, I train a few people. I don't charge them anything. I normally like to help guys, especially 60 and over, 60, 70, 80 years old, because, I see some of these people, I'm 50 years old. I'm over the hill. I can't do anything. I said, really? Really? Yeah. Come on, give me a break. And then once you put them through it, and the only problem is most people think they're going to do it in 2 weeks. No, it's a lifestyle. Give it a year, not 2 weeks. I had one guy, I got him down, and again, I don't charge them anything. He was 230, big guy, Armando, owned his own plumbing company, just a great kid, 29 years old. So he came in at 250. I got him down to 205.
Wow.
Got him down to 205, and then again, I realized that work is tough, 30 years old, owns his own business and everything else. Boom, gone. Guess what? Now he's 260.
Come on, Armando. Get back in the gym.
And it's not just,
I know.
Let's put it this way. 75% of it, without the BS, is what you shove in your mouth.
100%.
The other 25% of it is the pumping, doing what you got to do. But the diet is the main thing. That's why when you see these things on TV, hi, no exercise necessary. Well, bullshit. Pardon my language. No, you got to exercise too. Okay, because that, again, yes, you can lose weight by not eating 5 pizzas a day, cutting down to 1 and everything. Yeah. You're going to lose weight, but you're still going to have fat on here.
Right.
So you got to do both.
You have to do both.
And that's why competing is so good for me, because I know I have to go on stage, so I know I better be looking good, so I better not eat that Twinkie that's in there, or I better not eat that candy bar or whatever. I'm telling you, so you start thinking.
Yep, and you have a countdown, you know how many days is left and all of it.
That's what I told you. That's when I take my wife out to dinner. I'd order a glass of water and watch her eat and fantasize that I was eating. Then I'd tell her, order some apple pie with ice cream on top. I don't want to get fat. I said, you weigh 90 freaking pounds. Eat it. She's a sweetheart.
Oh, gosh.
I married my Italian nurse. Wow. Isn't that great?
That's so great.
Well, what's great is she's 20 years younger than me. So I better keep in shape.
That's right.
And she's she's a built-in nurse, so if I can't bend down and tie my shoe, guess what?
She's actually a registered nurse?
Yeah.
That's awesome. How'd you meet?
She was, where Shea, what's that center there on Shea Boulevard, Shea and Scottsdale Road?
Yeah, all those medical buildings, that hospital?
Her boss was a client of mine, a commercial client of mine, so she'd bring over checks.
Oh.
And one day she came in there, and I had these video games for my 2 younger boys. And one day he saw them playing on the floor in my office and this and that, and she saw all that. So basically when I got divorced, she asked me out.
No way.
And that's when I started losing the weight and everything else, becoming Danny Disco,
That's awesome.
I didn't become an Ed Travolta or Ed Revolta,
Well, it's never too late.
And of course,
you can start now.
No. Those days are over.
Come on.
With the with the dance.
Yeah,
those Rolls Royces were fun. Coming back thinking.
I bet you gonna buy another one.
No.
My neighbor just bought one. A Phantom. I think he was.
There's
just shy of $1 million.
It's nice. It's
beautiful.
It's nice.
Yeah.
But one of them my friend had, Tim Hurst. And he had a white Corniche convertible with a red interior. He says, Ed, you want to take it for a day? I said, okay.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Bye-bye.
And the car was a 1970. And if you took it today and put it out there, it looks it looks better than the new ones. Better, the style on it and everything else. How did we get back to that?
I don't know.
I was thinking about nice things.
Yes, love it.
So then did different things in my life, did stupid things. I mean, I've been
let's
there
hear about those.
Been there to where I've almost lost everything, gained it back plus, almost lost everything. It was because I trust people to a fault. Now the fault is ended because I always like to I never want to hurt anybody. I never want to hurt anybody's feelings. So I'll normally take the shot instead of giving them the shot.
Yeah.
And I got screwed helping a lot of people, money-wise and everything else. But I didn't quit. I didn't get sour on myself. And I wasn't going to become, that was the one thing I said, I'm not going to become like them. But to be honest with you, and David could attest to this, if you've got a strong wife who looks after the money, you'll still have the frickin' money. If you have a husband, most of the time, oh, you need help here, you know. And don't get me wrong, helping people is a wonderful thing, right? But oh, I got this deal for you, or oh, let me go to work for you and pay me whatever, and you're gonna bring all this, and there's nothing. So
both of those things happened. So the first time you said you almost lost everything. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
You hired one person or more than one person who said, "Oh, pay me this, and I'm gonna."
Yeah, there was more than one person.
More than one person.
Because what I was doing was, it did more than one person.
Yeah.
I just
you paid them too much, and they didn't deliver what they said they're going to do.
Plus didn't go through.
Yeah, didn't follow through.
Didn't follow through and see what they've done. I don't need to interview. You know what? So anyway, you learn from that, but you don't quit, because if you got there and you went down, well, you know how to get there. Go back there again.
Already done it.
You know, and then but let's stop going up and down, please, Ed. Stop going up. Well, I don't anymore because I retired. The business went into capable hands. Yes. Okay. Hopefully, not hopefully, he did learn from some of my stupid mistakes. and the other one, well, it wasn't quite my fault. The third one going down was a crazy wife I married.
Watch out for those crazy wives.
But anyway,
spend all your money.
It disappeared.
You don't know you don't know what happened to it.
No, I got an idea. I got an idea. The plastic surgeon doctor is probably the happiest guy in the world. Okay, that can amount up to a lot of money.
Yes, it can.
I didn't know there were all the places you can do that. But anyway, now you get a nice wife, a nice husband, nice relationship.
Yes.
It's a team.
Right.
It's a different team, and there's no secrets.
Right.
No, a husband and wife should have no secrets between them. Even if you screw up, no secrets. And there's one way you never screw up, and you know what that is. You're never unfaithful to your wife or husband. Unacceptable.
My husband and I, we only have secrets if it's around a birthday or a Christmas. Don't look at my phone because it's almost Christmas, because I don't want him to find what I just bought, or I've been talking to him. He's like, don't look. You can look after your birthday, And then we always say that we love you unconditionally. It's not unconditionally, because you cheat on me, I'm going to push you off a cliff. Yeah. I'll make it look like an accident.
That
it's one conditional love.
Well, when you doing this talk all the way around, you can see how things kind of start coming together as a puzzle. Yeah. Now I'm on basically the last stage of my life, and I've been fortunate enough to see grandchildren. One was really hard. My grandson Arlo died. He was 3 years old.
I'm so sorry. The other tissues?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. No one cries alone in my presence.
He was 3
What
years.
happened?
They don't know.
They just don't know?
They don't know. No, he
died?
started coughing and stuff, and
oh my gosh! Thank you.
And he went into convulsions. They brought him in the hospital. They put him under sedation. Thank you. Big guys cry.
Good.
They're human.
Yep, it's good. It's so sad.
But they didn't know what it was.
What?
They thought it had something to do with the antibodies. It was a 1 in a million type thing or whatever. And by 2 weeks, he was dead. Aww. And here was this, I can't figure it out. I'm Italian, maybe the mother's side. Blonde, curly hair.
What?
Well, his brother, but I'm going to tell you something, how this all relates. This is going to come, and this is why you're going to know there is a God, too. because there is another thing that comes out of the story about the loss of Arlo. When Arlo was here, he had a brother. They went and had another child. Okay. And then, anyway, the other child, Nico, okay, was...
Younger?
Yeah, he was probably about 2 months old or 3 months old when this happened.
God.
And my son had a vasectomy. Not going to have any more kids. I had the 2 kids. Well, after Arlo died, they reattached it, said the good chance he'll be able to do something. Well, Micah was born. It took, and Micah was born. And the thing is, God had something in that plan, because Micah would not be here if Arlo was here.
Right.
So God gave Arlo 3 years. He gave 3 years. I guess he needed him more than me.
Right.
And Micah wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be here.
Right.
So there's something, if he wouldn't be here. Isn't that something?
It is something. And I think what you're trying to say is that there's always some kind of blessings out of a tragedy. Right?
Yeah. And this time around, I didn't hate God for it, because when my father died, I cursed God to no end. I cursed him.
I bet.
Yeah, and it was just emotion, what I'm saying.
You're a young kid.
But
devastating.
But now, I know Arlo can see us, but now the other 2 boys, they're...
How old are they now?
One of them's Arlo's age. And the other one would have been, Micah would have been, got Nico's. In other words, they're the same ages as when Arlo was gone.
Micah is 3 right now. No, Micah's a baby.
Micah's a baby.
Wow.
Nico
was 3.
Yeah.
So this just
Arlo
happened.
died when he was 3, and so it's just amazing.
Wow.
So obviously there was a reason for it. I cried.
I bet.
But
it's good. I mean, it's good to let your emotions out. I don't think it's very good to just keep all their emotions in.
You know something? The other thing you'll find is the older you get, the more you loosen up. Because I was pretty tight, even with him. It was hard for me to show emotion. Very hard. Nothing to do with him. It's just by trying to keep everything together, keep everybody fed, keep the business going, stop from getting ripped off as much.
How'd that work out? Stop getting ripped off as much?
It worked
Did
out
you get better
good.
at that?
Well, no, here was bottom. Here's when you know bottom is, and when I told David, you're basically running it now. Take the damn, just take it. Okay, Dad. And he takes good care of me. But
sure he does.
And the reason I knew it was time to get out is because it reached a point where clients that you work your ass for, you break your ass for, and they leave you for $25, and then they call you back for advice. So finally I got to the point where I'd say, oh, really? Go blank yourself. And please don't come back here and don't call me. You blankety blank. $25? I might as well stand out in Van Buren with a frickin' with shorts on, hustling tricks. I'm worth more than $25. Yeah, so I told him to go blank yourself, and I didn't even want to talk to you. And it had nothing to do with the money or the business. It was by treating me like a prostitute.
Yeah.
Because just as Ed, we like this or whatever. But yet, even after they left me, they'd call me up for advice, and I'd always take care of it. Always, But I finally said no. And then at that point, I knew it's time to leave because I'm going to tell everybody to go blank themselves.
You're not going to leave any clients for your son.
Oh, it would have been Italian. You know what Italian is? It would have been Italian.
Italian.
That's when it
Italian
really
job.
came out. Yeah, the Italian job is right.
That's when it's time to retire.
But
what advice would you give men in their 20s that really want to, you know, have a great life, and they want to have a business and a family and be fit. I mean, what advice would you give?
Hands-on. No excuses. Do your homework. Hands-on, no excuses, and do your homework. Hands-on, if you're going to be in a certain business, get in there, you know, learn about it. You know, ask questions on there. Before you open a business, it's probably not a bad idea for you to work in a like-type business that you're going to be opening and learn.
Right.
Instead of just jumping into it.
Right.
I see as business owners, what do they say? 90% of them fail the first 3 years.
It's true.
Okay. The first 5 years, if you're still in business, you're going to make it. You got a damn good chance at that point.
Right.
So you got to get through those first 3 years, but you don't want it to be a total learning clinic. That's why you want to be somewhere to learn the business from a reputable, good person.
Right.
And don't screw over that person that's teaching you either.
Right.
You might want to let them know, my aspirations is to own this type of business, and I want to learn.
Yeah.
But I'll always be faithful to, you know, I'm you know.
And if it's a good person, like you said, pick a business owner that's a good person. If that is a good person, then he'll love to help and love to show you and be a mentor. I mean, good people who own businesses, and they want to create more leaders. They want to show you how to do it. They want you to be successful.
Just like gyms. You know, guy opens up a gym. There's plenty of gyms around here. There's plenty of people and everything else. You're not. Now, if you open up right next door and this guy's been helping you, yeah, I got a problem with that.
Right.
Or if you see, like in a lot of these shopping centers, and I know a lot of people that own businesses in there just as friends.
Right.
And you see one person open up a coffee shop, little restaurant type of thing, and then you see a year and a half later, someone open up something very similar right next to it. Really?
Doesn't make sense.
Well, that's why probably a good idea to check the lease first and to say, hey, if I'm coming in here with a coffee shop or a donut shop or even a little luncheonette type of thing, I don't want any other ones in here.
Oh,
if you're going to do that,
that's good advice.
I need to go to another place. But I see them doing that all the time. Because one of the philosophies in businesses, I'll give you an example on something. There's a McDonald's or a Burger King, and or let's say a Domino's Pizza. This will be easier. A Domino's Pizza, and you want to open up your own pizza place. Guess what?
What?
You open it next to the Domino's Pizza. And then they say, well, what are you going to do that? You know, people are buying from about, no. All that traffic there? Hey, let's try Eddie's Pizza. Because I'm making them special. Let's try Eddie's Pizza. So a lot of these businesses, food businesses, restaurants, etc., they'll look for the chain name or the big name, and they'll open there because the big chain has paid for all the advertising. So it's foot traffic. And once they eat your pizza, it's going to be better than Domino's. You're doing yours by hand. Hey, let's go to Eddie's and get a pizza. Let's order one out. So that's something else to look at, too.
Do we have any, quote, good pizza in Arizona, according to you? Do we have any real Italian pizza anywhere?
There was, but the gentleman got, what was that virus that was out that I didn't get a shot for?
No, I don't know.
I'm even old, and I'm glad I didn't get a shot because I probably had 3 years on me by now. But anyway, there. What was the name of the pizza place?
Casanova.
Aiello's. He was from Brooklyn, and in Las Vegas, he came in second in the pizza contest. His pizzas were phenomenal. Again, a Brooklyn guy, but he got the COVID, and he was in an incubator thing for 6 or 7 months.
Damn.
When he got out, they had to teach him to walk again. On top of it, the guy weighed over 400 pounds.
He lived?
Yeah. Well, he's got to get. He's probably close to 70, but he was going to get a transplant. I guess one of his kidneys or something or whatever. But yeah, he.
Wow. Because we had one down here. You don't live anywhere near where we live, but we had a Casanova Brothers pizza, and they were from Brooklyn too, and they were awesome. And one of them died too during the pandemic. They closed down. It's so sad. Pass by it every once in a while, Val Vista and Elliott or Guadalupe. It's so sad. It was my favorite pizza.
But the reason you'll never get a New York pizza out here, even if the people came from Italy, an Italian pizza, the water.
It's the water.
It's the water. The water's different in New York, and I give you an example. My grandparents, God rest their souls, this is going back in the 70s. I lived on McCormick Ranch. I remember that. And my grandparents, they were well up there in their 80s and everything, flew down and, stayed with me. And then Grandma made macaroni and meatballs.
Oh,
and
yum.
They made it at the house, but it didn't taste the same as New York.
Because of the water.
It was good. It was good, but it didn't taste the same as New York.
Damn.
So, I mean, you'll get
I've heard that. I've been to New York many times. I've never lived there, but everybody says that. I didn't know that until somebody told me.
And if you compete, you're better off eating the pizza after the competition as of before.
I was going to say, you're so fit.
I screwed up on one.
You ate pizza before you competed once?
No, here's what I did, and I learned a lesson, so that's good. When I first came to it was Arizona. I did. I actually competed in a show, and it looked like I was going to win it. But they have a night show too where they rejudge you also. And I didn't know.
Oh,
I had a milkshake and 2 hamburgers. So when I came out, I thought I was done. So when I came out, one of my friends goes, "Ed, you lost all your cuts. You came out bloated."
What?
I said, "Wait a minute. That was this morning. They judged the afternoon too." I said, "Oh shit." And that was it. I didn't compete again until I was 60. But I learned a lesson from it. After the competition, go eat your pizza, drink your beer.
Right.
For the one day.
That one day, and then you got to get back on.
And I got to tell you something. You're up there posing, doing stuff, and you see like pizzas, flying pizzas. It's amazing. You'd go to sleep at night when you're prepping, you're losing the weight, getting cut up, and you dream of pizzas. Not sheep, not lambs, pizzas. Oh, God.
How do you stay fit now when you're not competing and you're Italian, and Italians have the best food on the planet?
Don't bring it home. Now, if you got kids, it's going to be awfully damn tough. But the point is, I bring hot stuff home for my wife because she weighs about 100 pounds, and chocolate, but I'm not going to eat that shit. No. All kinds of goodies and everything else. And guess what?
Of course you're going to eat it.
It's 1 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden, I'm in a cabinet there eating something.
Dreaming of pizza.
No, it ain't pizza. It's a brownie.
But you bought it, and you brought it home.
But I brought it for her. I brought it for her. But you can't keep stuff in the house because you're going to eat it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the way it is.
Did you learn how to make all the recipes that your grandparents made? You know how to make all that stuff?
I know how to make quite a bit of it. Now, today...
How often do you make it?
Well...
pasta and meatballs?
The holidays, yeah. But like yesterday, I made 31 meals. I prepped. Rather than pay them $15 to $20 a meal.
Right.
I can spend $100, do the math, and do 31 meals. So what is the math?
$3.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's I'm saving $300
salmon
a month. Salmon, ground chicken, ground turkey, regular chicken or turkey.
You don't eat a lot of red meat?
I don't eat any red meat.
None?
No. I'm not one of these freaky people. I like eating everything, but at my age, it's just not a good thing. And with all of the stuff they're putting in cattle,
right?
And that's why you got to be careful with the chicken too. If they're putting hormones in there or not, it's not good.
Well, and they want to do
steroids.
They want to put mRNA. They want to put COVID shots in all of our meat now. It's insane.
It's basically steroids is what they're putting in there.
Right. It's horrible.
That's why.
Are you eating farm raised salmon? Not eating farm raised, are you?
No.
Okay,
Farm
good.
raised salmon is bad. All this farm raised stuff, they feed them crap. You know,
Right.
it's just like
dog food.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Good. And then do you track your macros? Do you have a certain amount of protein, fat, and carbs?
Kind of.
Kind of.
You know,
Each meal has all three, right?
Oh yeah. I try and stay at 60. No, I think 50 or 40, 30, 30, somewhere in that ballpark.
Every meal. Times 5?
As close as I can.
6?
Times, I would say 1, 2, 3.
Oh, so you're at 3 meals a day when you're not competing.
Well, I'm at 3 meals a day. Let me explain them. For breakfast, I always have egg whites and oatmeal with some berries. Okay, egg whites, oatmeal, and berries. And then sometimes every other day, you can crack an egg into the egg whites on there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got your 3 prep meals, okay, and then dinner.
So it is 5
with the
meals
family,
a day.
you know, and you know, if you want a piece of steak, that's fine. I just choose not to. Yeah, chicken, whatever, and boom. And all of a sudden, that stuff starts coming off.
Yeah.
It starts just floating off.
That's so cool. And now you're helping other people lose the weight and get into shape, and it's so fun. All right, so what is going to be included in your last chapter of life? Your last quarter? You're in the 4th quarter?
Oh,
You going to live to 100?
I'm going to try.
Do it. How are you going to do it? What's going to be in the last quarter of your life? What are your plans?
Well, number one, whoops.
He's got a garbage.
Oh, thank you.
See if I can make it.
Okay. Number one, I'd like to, well, not like to, I will keep working out. And what I do is I don't want to get up 4:15 in the morning. I just don't. But I make myself get up. Then I go into brush my teeth, and all of a sudden I'm becoming alive again. And the key, even in business, anything, is one step at a time. If you try and go this way, you're not going to get to the prize. Right. And the last part of my life, just want to get to the prize.
What's the prize?
The family. To be healthy, happy, successful, you know. And that's to me, that'll be the prize.
Watch them grow up.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
That's beautiful.
But one step at a time, and then once I get into the gym, I'm still going, oh, crap, you know. And then once I get on the machine and I put the weight on. This morning I put 220 pounds on a lat pull down.
Oh, my God.
And there was a bodybuilder kid next to me I never saw before, and he looked and went,
holy shit. 220 pounds.
he goes,
I do 70.
and with the shoulders too, even though they're fake,
Titanium shoulders, and you're still doing 22. Oh my God.
Well, in the leg presses,
amazing.
I'm doing over 1,000 pounds in the leg presses.
Oh my God.
And I got a fake knee and I got a fake hip.
Oh my God.
Well, it's funny when they replaced the hip and the knee, they had me walking the day I had the surgery, and then they says, okay, here's your walker and you can't lift for. Well,
You're like, pass.
In 2 weeks, I was leg pressing, very light, very light. Yeah. Sometimes I'm not very intelligent. And I'm listen to the doctor, please. Don't be like what I did.
Don't do as I say, not as I do.
But the main thing is as you get older, you get tired quicker. And this is what I tell my older clients. You get tired quicker. You start losing testosterone on there. You get depressed. You can have suicidal thoughts. You have to keep busy. And that's why when I take these older guys, I had one guy who was a retired firefighter, and he was miserable. He was lonely and miserable. But he had a problem, a retired firefighter. His girlfriend just left him.
Oh.
This guy was 70. She was 28.
Now, well, I mean,
that's ridiculous. So I told him, I said, hey, Roy, why don't you try and find a woman closer to your age, maybe? Whoa. And I think sometimes I have to look in the mirror because sometimes I think I'm 30 years old and I look in the mirror and say, who the hell's that? But
who's this old man looking at me?
But on the other hand, it could be worse.
Oh, you look amazing.
Yeah, I could be the pear, and I don't want to be the pear.
No more pears.
But when we talk, but these what people have to know this, especially as you get 60 on up. Get your blood test every year. Please. Get find out what your T levels are, your testosterone levels are, because from age 20 something on, you're losing a couple of points. So all of a sudden when you're 60 years old, where maybe you had, when you were younger, they were at 600, 800 or something, 900.
Right.
They may be at 50 now. And and also prostate, for prostate cancer, take the blood test.
Yep.
In fact, from that should be taken from age 50 on.
Yep.
So your life changes and you have to start making some of these changes with it and keep busy.
Yep.
Now I do like to sit in front of the TV set, but it's after I've earned it. I've done all my stuff. And then I have to turn it off sometimes because I am politically motivated. I love Donald J. Trump and what he's done for us. Now, some people may not like him because they think he's gruff or whatever. He's from frickin' New York. The guy's made billions of dollars because he tells the truth, not worrying about somebody's feelings. He doesn't give a damn what color you are, what religion you are. Right. It's, hey, I want the best man. I want the best person to do the job.
So you have to turn the TV off because you get pissed off at the news?
You're kidding me. There's Fanny with her boyfriend, taking $900,000 going on trips, and they're telling Trump, who's the banks love him, they made money off of him, he's paid his loans off on time, but he undervaluated his place there. The judge, he was a weird guy. He had to take pictures of him. It's insane. It's freaky. Of course, and Fanny, and now what's Fanny going to do with her trips with her boyfriend? And her boyfriend's the one she appointed to go after Trump. Hello.
I don't think their case is going very well.
No.
Oh, geez. Yeah, don't watch too much TV. Turn off the news. Most of it's propaganda anyway, Ed. Come on. It's propaganda. Stop watching
Kind of like the whodunits, too. You know what I'm saying? And it's always the woman killing the husband. I'm telling my wife, there's another Michelle on there. What am I drinking here? Is it antifreeze?
Is your wife's name Michelle?
Yeah.
Is there some Michelles everywhere?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. You're amazing. Do you take any supplements?
Oh, yeah. A whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And I also go to the doctor, do the blood test thing, and he has recommends supplements that you can take.
Yep.
You try and stay off of the testosterone and all that stuff, unless in your blood test, the doctor sees it and your T levels really are so low, they're dangerous. That's actually dangerous.
It is dangerous.
And this is one time, and that's what the drug is made for, used for properly. When you get these people, and I'm talking about freaking monsters, 5'9", 300-pound guys that have every steroid drug in them. They end up, when I quit competing the Colorado thing, after I won it, the reason I quit competing is the next step up was steroids. I wouldn't do it. No. And guess what? 4 of those guys that I competed against and beat, they were all dead in their 40s. And one guy actually came in second, Mr. Universe. And they were all dead in their 40s. Was it really worth it? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Everything. It enlarges everything. There's so many bodybuilders
then you
that
see
are
these,
dead.
Then you see these guys.
Yeah.
There's one I saw on Facebook who I've followed for years.
Yeah.
I won't mention the name, but the point is, he was so big, and it was just unfreaking, and a modern day one. I'm not talking about Arnold's
recently.
Day. A recent one, and he was just huge. Well, he stopped taking them, and he's all flabby and, whatever. So basically, it's another person looking to take the easy way out.
Right.
And the easy way out, you're never out. You're just walking through another door in a circle. The easy way out. And I think everybody has that choice in life, including yourself.
100%.
Take the easy way out. you're going to get the easy way out reward.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good point.
But guys, life is good. I'm looking forward to the next 25 years if God gives that to me. And as I said, today, looking in my computer at Facebook, there was a picture of a 90-year-old bodybuilder. 90 years, and he looked good.
He looked amazing.
I mean, he was 90 years old, but he looked freaking good. And I'm not talking about a guy walking around like this. This guy was solid,
ripped.
walking around.
He was ripped.
So it ain't over till it's over. And if you got a daddy and he's in his 50s, 60s, or 70s, make sure your daddy, and look at you, you're blessed. You are totally blessed with your mother and father.
I know.
In their 80s, and they're still
traveling.
That's probably because, not probably, it's because they were winners.
Because
they did what they needed to do to be successful, and that's family first, you know. And once you got that, you go for.
Well, what did you say? 75% diet, 80%, 90% of everything they ate was made at home, and we always had a garden, and everything was good, clean food. And they don't eat a lot. They don't eat out a lot. They do every once in a while, but they never did, and they never drank. They never smoked.
Well, I guess like Trump, they'll live to be 100.
Live to be 100.
His old Donald
drink
doesn't smoke, doesn't
and
drink.
Never drinks.
Just that he's a wise ass, and I love it. He's from New York.
It always comes back to Trump. Oh my God! Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. Thank you for doing this.
Fun.
This is a blast.
Well, what's amazing, it's like a puzzle, and we've gone all through the place, and I cried.
It's amazing.
That was from the heart. That
of course
it
was. That's devastating.
And in a way, I'm glad I got that out because I haven't been able to do that. He died
a couple years ago?
Almost a couple of years ago.
Recent.
And I have not been able to cry. When my dad passed away, it took me 2 years to cry. 2 years. Maybe what that means is you're finally letting go of your own feelings, knowing now they're with God.
Right. Yes.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Love
because
that.
You actually made me understand more things about myself than
I'm so happy to hear it. This was a blast.
Well,
thank you. And for everybody listening to this show or watching if you're on YouTube, thank you so much for being here and supporting my show. And just remember, you can live to be 100. You can create an amazing life just one day at a time. And God bless you and thank you.